Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to today's sponsors, Burlee's Fancies. Fancy that, fancy this. Burlee's gift baskets that do impress. Call Burlee today at 541-905-2800. And Independent Merchant Brokers for all your credit card, debit card processing needs. Go to independentmerchantbrokers.com. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Man, I'm so glad to be here this morning, and I am excited because I get to have part two, a discussion with my good friend Emily Harman. We had such a great time last time, and there was so much that we had to talk about that we just couldn't finish it all in one podcast. So there you go. So we're going to take part two today. But I just wanted to remind you before we get going, first of all, happy Monday morning to everybody. I am Russ Hedge. I'm here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's right. I'm on the West Coast of the U.S. Pacific Time. So every Monday, 8 a.m., you can tune in live. But, you know, if you miss it live, I know a lot of you watch on replay, which is fine. And, you know, I am an inspiration specialist. I'm a coach. I'm a motivational speaker. I love to connect with people. And this podcast is all about how amazing people connect. I was just talking to Emily about how amazing it's been to connect with people all over the world in this last 18 months. It's been incredible. And I am so blessed to have people like Emily as my friends and be able to chat with them no matter where they are around the country or around the world. And I just want to also remind you that I am the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. It's a great, encouraging, inspirational book. And actually, I've got another 2 book signings coming up in the next 2 weekends here in the local Oregon area, which is going to be great. One here in Salem, Oregon, and one in Staten, Oregon. And so it'll be a ton of fun. So if you happen to be listening, you're local, and you want to come by, it'll be Willamette Valley Christian Supply in Albany, or it will be Marketplace at the Grove in Staten. So it'll be a ton of fun. They're going to both be Saturday starting at 11 a.m. You can come by either morning. So ton of fun. If you don't have a chance to get it locally, you can always go to Amazon or any online booksellers. And I want to encourage you with the book. And also I have recently released my companion workbook. That's great. Helps you get full benefit out of all the positive help and ideas I give you in the book. So anyway, enough about me. I'm going to jump over and get Emily in here so we can start chatting. There she is. Ta-da!
Hey, Russ.
Hey, Emily, how you doing?
Good. I'm great. I love your introduction video because I can say, oh, I know her, I know him. That's kind of cool.
Well, you know, I love to update that occasionally, which I'm going to have to do because I got to get you in the intro video. And a lot of my other friends, including Mr. Luke, who is the man, I thought I was a super connector till I met Luke out of Manhattan. I'm sure you know him, Emily. I mean, everybody knows Luke. Man, anyway, he just connects constantly. He was on my podcast last week. So anyway, We're going to talk about some great stuff today. You're doing some awesome things with transformational life coaching. Just for those who haven't heard you before or missed the last podcast, give everybody a snapshot about Emily.
Okay, a snapshot about Emily. See, I graduated from the Naval Academy back in 1985 in the 6th class of women to graduate. And I ended up working for the Navy for the next 34 years. So a total of 38 years when you count my schooling time, working for the Navy, either as an officer or a civilian. And my last job was the director of the Office of Small Business Programs for the Navy and Marine Corps, helping small businesses figure out how to do business with us and how to contribute to the warfighter's mission. At age 56, back in 2019, was when I could retire. And I finally decided that, I wanted to choose a different life. I like what your book is, Russ, Live the Life You Choose. And I think that we're all living a life that we choose, whether we consciously choose it or not. And I decided I wanted to live a different life. I didn't want to have to go into the office from 9 to 5 or whatever. I didn't want to have to report into office. I didn't want to have to wear high heels. And I wanted to do kind of something different with my life. I wanted to help other people. I knew I wanted to be a coach. And so I started figuring out how to create the life that I really wanted to live. And my coaching is along the same lines as yours, how to create the life of your dreams, how to create a life that you really love. And I think sometimes I know I tend to just kind of go with the flow, let circumstances guide us instead of us trying to really take charge of our lives and create something that we really want.
Right. That you just hit the nail on the head. And we talked about this before, actually, because you also did my Russ Reels show. We were talking about how circumstances and at that point, days of the week or any external things affected our actual attitude and perspective on life. And I think that people need to realize what you just said, that we choose every day, whether we consciously choose or not. Most people are letting their external circumstances dictate their life. And really, there's a great quote by Simon Sinek that says most people live life by accident. Because they just let it come to them and whatever happens, or they're living somebody else's life. They're living what people tell them they should do or what they think they should do. So when you talk to people about transformational, life and change, what exactly do you encourage? How do you encourage them to really choose that life?
I encourage them to listen to, their inner thoughts. What are they thinking? What are they feeling about their day? Hi, Michael. About their day. What are their longings and discontent? Sometimes they're kind of really quiet that come into us. I really like this, but then our mind says, no, we can't do that. And that's based on limiting beliefs, something that's happened in the past. It's our mind trying to keep us in our comfort zone. And we really need to listen to that. I'm reading so many books. I've got a library of books, but one of the books I'm reading is The Power of Awareness. And I just wanted to read something from it. It's The Power of Awareness by Neville. And basically he says that, man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. All that befalls man, all that is done by him, all that comes from him happens as a result of his state of consciousness. A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves and believes is true and consents to. That's why a change in consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. We can change our outer world. And, a change in circumstance happens as a result of us changing our consciousness, what we think, how we think, and if we really want to transform and lead a different life, we have to have a strong desire to want to do that. And we have to work on ourselves, not other people. If other people would change, or if this circumstance changed, or if that circumstance changed, then I could really live a life I love living. We got to look at ourselves and change ourselves.
Yeah, that's why you and I get along so well, because we have such a similar mindset. And you always encourage me with all that you say. And I wrote that book down. I want to look that up. I've talked to you about this one before, almost exactly the same thing. Winning the war of your mind, change your thinking, change your life by Craig Rochelle. Same thing. Your consciousness, your thinking, your state of mind has to change in order for you to change. And that's hard. People I know tell you this all the time. And people say to me, you can't just do that. It's not that easy. Well, you're right. It's not easy. It's challenging and life is crummy sometimes, but we can change. It may be difficult, but we can change. And that's the thing, is to be encouraged that you can make a change. I love I don't know if I've told you this one before, but I love it's a cartoon or a little drawing of two guys on ladders. One is a bunch of small little rungs and they're taking a step at a time up the ladder. And the other one is these gigantic steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy can't even get up to the next step because he's bitten off more than he can chew. He's trying to take too big of leaps, where the guy with little teeny steps is 3/4 of the way up. The whole message from that is take one little step at a time, forward motion, and the change will happen, even if it takes a while to see. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I would also say, it's really hard to do by yourself. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach. I've invested in a ton of coaches over the past 2 years since I retired. So to get where I am now with my level of awareness and the things that I'm doing in my life, I would not have been able to do it without a coach, without some accountability partners, because sometimes it is a couple steps forward on that ladder and then you slip down again. And are you going to get back up and keep going, or are you going to give up? And it takes support to be able to keep going, from my experience, at least.
Right. No, I completely agree. I mean, you know that I'm a man of faith, and I feel like with God behind me, it gives me the strength and everything I need to move forward. And but we need that strong foundation, that strength, and we need support. We need other people. We are better together. And it is always, I mean, I know that seems overused, but it's so true. That's why I love friends like you, Emily, that I can talk to, because it encourages me. It lifts me up, it builds me up. I mean, maybe a positive, upbeat guy, but there's times when, I was out taking my morning walk this morning. I'm like, come on, Russ, come on. You can do it. I mean, there's times like that, we all have it.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't wake up every morning and just go, woo, No.
I was struggling yesterday, and I just kind of sat on the couch and I read, and I was just trying to be good to myself, because I know whenever I get in those moods or whatever, I just need a little time to pass and I'll be okay. And today I got up and I made myself go on a walk, because I know the things that I need to do to keep me, get me back in a better mood. And today it was working out. And I would say I'm not like strong in religion, but I'm very spiritual. And I do believe, that there's a universe, and that there's, God, universe, higher self, whatever you want to call it. There's a power that's, in us. We have more power than we really believe. And a lot of it's really our thoughts. If we can think something, if we can dream about something, then we can create it, and we can co-create it with the universe or with God. I believe that.
Well, there is definitely a higher power bigger than us, because it is not all about us. We are not in a little bubble with what we're doing. And that is why I think it's so important to come together, to collaborate, work together with people, to learn from people, to have coaches that can hold you accountable, to build a strong network of life to help yourself move forward. I mean, just like, and then also, we've talked to you before, and I think you're really you also believe this, and that is having very intentional habits about things, about the way we think, about the way we look at life. I've told you my little morning routine that's in my book. Every morning I get up and I say, I'm thankful for God, for my beautiful wife, for my family. And number two, I say today that I've got this. I give myself a little pep talk. I can do it. I got it. I've got the talent to do it. Number three, I say today's going to be awesome, because I'm going to shape my perspective around awesome for the day. And then whatever hits me, at least I have that awesome filter on that makes it look a lot better no matter what actually happens. And so that's what always helps me. Like this morning, I mean, I wasn't feeling awesome when I woke up, but when I took that attitude and I got out and walked and I gave myself a little pep talk and I got moving, felt a whole lot better. By now I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, our energy, we are energy, and our thoughts create energy. And when we send out that negative energy, we can start to attract that, or we just, no matter what, comes across to us, we interpret it through that filter of that negative energy or those negative thoughts. So yeah, just changing your thoughts is so important. And that's why I do coach in that area of mental fitness, which is all about, being able to strengthen our minds so that we can catch the saboteurs in our mind, the judge that judges circumstances as bad or that's terrible. And it's all based on what happened in the past. So, maybe we could find something good about this situation. How do we change our mindset to, figure out what's good about this situation, to come at it from a different angle? And we can control our minds instead of having our minds control us. That is something that we can do. So but it takes practice. And like I've said before, I think once I signed up to go to the gym for a gym membership, and I walk by that gym every day, and I didn't get in shape. You actually have to do the work. You had to go in and lift weights and stuff. And so same with your mind. You can't just all of a sudden say, yeah, I'm going to change my mind and change my attitude and, and have it change. It takes practice.
Yeah. It's like building a muscle, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got to intentionally do it and practice. And you talked about limiting beliefs, and it's so true because of our past and because of our experiences, and all of us have it. All of us have gone through something. We all live this real life that we have to filter these experiences through. And, we can either look and learn and grow from our experiences, or we can be depressed and held down and limited by our experiences. And I love, when people come to me and they say, yeah, I can't do that, my first question to them is, why not?
Why not? Right.
Because you've already limited yourself. If you think you can't do it, you're right. You're right. You can't, because you've decided you can't do it. So if you think that way, that's what's going to happen. If you think you can, then chances are a whole lot better that you're going to pull that off, and you're definitely going to make positive improvement and most likely accomplish your goals. That's what's, obviously we all have to live within the real life. Right. If we think we're going to fly to the moon and that's not a circumstance we can pull off, maybe we can, maybe we can't. I don't know, maybe.
Right.
But why limit it? Why not? Why not shoot for whatever is your goals and aspirations and living the life that you choose? So in this transformation, you have such a great attitude, and you have some specific steps you give people to help them develop these habits and transform their mind and their thinking.
Well, I have like a roadmap that I developed, and it's based on my journey. And if people want a copy of that roadmap, they can just message me and I can give it to them. But it's kind of like a framework. Everyone's at a different spot along that roadmap, but it really starts with looking inward and analyzing ourselves. One of my coaches said, whenever you point the finger at somebody else, you've got three pointing back at you. So becoming more self-aware and really knowing why you want to change in your life and what that change is. And sometimes, I know for me, my drug of choice to avoid my feelings is staying busy. So sometimes, we're too busy, or we're just not spending that time to quiet our minds and to look inward and to really listen to what's telling us that we want to change. And so that's the first step, I think, is just being aware, and then writing, coming up with a list of all the things that you feel like you should do, and what are the things that you are doing, and why are you doing them, and why do you feel like you should do them. So just be aware of, what's going on in your life. Hi, Regina. Just be aware of what's going on in your life. That awareness is the first step, and then noticing where you feel like something's lacking, where you feel like you want to change, and just really notice that. And then just even ask God or ask the universe, what message are you sending me? What do you think I should do? What action should I take next? And then be quiet and listen to that. And sometimes those answers come to me when I'm exercising, when I'm swimming, when I'm walking. Sometimes they're very kind of quiet, and so you have to really listen. And I read an article today, Russ, about how like so many people are going to leave their jobs. They're thinking of leaving their jobs. They don't want to go back into the office. And so I think a lot of people are having this discussion with themselves in their mind about, well, what do I really want? Because sometimes we might be like busting our butts to make a whole bunch of money when really we don't need a whole bunch of money to be happy. What could happen? Like for me, I was living in DC. My rent was like $3,500 a month, okay, for my apartment. So I knew that when I retired, I wasn't going to be able to afford that. So I could have said, well, there's no way, Emily, that you can retire. And it's really not retiring. I called my retirement a graduation, but on to bigger and better things. But some people, right. There's no way I can retire. I can't afford it. Okay, yeah, I couldn't afford $3,500 a month rent, but I could afford to move to a different area and be right down the street from my parents, be able to spend more time with my parents, not have a huge mortgage payment, love where I live. So, but my mind could have kept me from realizing that I could have done that. And maybe I would still be working now. I don't know I'm working for the Navy, still be, trying to bring in that big paycheck, but I didn't really need it. And that wasn't what was making me happy. So listen to what would really cause you joy inside your heart. And a lot of times it's not the money.
Right. No, I mean, I could not agree more. And it is really interesting because, man, there was so much in there that I don't have time to unpack it all. It was so good. We're going to have a part 3, obviously, but the self-awareness, introspection, and I call it listening to God's still small voice speaking to you, because we need that alone time. We need that space. And, COVID created a bunch of space that some people took advantage of. I was able to take advantage of that, take time, space, because I, like you, my drug of choice is busyness, is running 100 miles an hour. And I get so overwhelmed within myself all by myself.
Yeah.
And so, but, people need to take a look, and it is all about what creates joy in you. What is your why and your purpose? I mean, we've talked about that. That's my big thing, is why are you really on this earth? Why are you really getting up in the morning doing what you're doing? Do you know why that is? And we all can make a change. Sometimes it takes some pretty difficult work to make a change, but we can all do that. And so things are not impossible. They just seem impossible in the situation you're in, like you said. And that is all so good. So in our closing moments, I've already gone over, but it's fine. In our closing moment, tell people out there, give them a hook for part 3, what they really need to start with to make that positive change. What would be your encouragement today? You're in that spot. You're feeling discouraged. You're feeling like it's impossible to get out of the situation you're in. What do they do, Emily?
Make time to be by yourself and to just say, universe or God, what would you have me do? Pose that question several times a day. And then just listen. Listen when you're walking. Listen to it could be just like a quick thought that comes in your mind that's different from all your other thoughts. Write it down. And let's have the next session where we start from there. Maybe people come to the session with a list of their thoughts, and then what do they do with them? And how do they figure out what they could do? How do they get around those limiting mindsets? That could be our next discussion, Russ.
There you go. And I think that when people have somebody to talk that through with them, like yourself, it gives them that sense of, it gives them a sense they're not alone. It gives them some accountability because they're telling somebody. And I encourage everybody not only to write things down, like Emily said, but tell somebody. There's power in writing and telling, because then you're holding yourself and someone else is holding you accountable for what you want to do. And that's a good thing. Accountability is not a bad thing. Accountability is a good thing because it helps you to get where you want to go. So you guys write down those things. Take a moment. Be silent, be quiet, do this daily, and think about really what you want to do. Listen to that still small voice. And next time Emily and I get together, we will start from there and see where we can take you from that point, because, we really are here to help you guys out, and appreciate everybody tuning in today. And this is just such a rich time, Emily. I appreciate you. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you, because they're going to want to know more. And I want people to be able to contact you about coaching and all that stuff.
Okay. My website is Emily Harman, HARMAN.com. And you can find everything there, emilyharman.com. I also have a Facebook group. It's a private group, which is all about encouraging you to create a life and live a life that you really love. There's about 1,400 people in that group. So there's a lot of engagement there. And it's called the Onward Movement. And you can also listen to my podcast, the Onward Podcast. And all of that, plus my coaching programs, are on my website.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to send you out for just a sec, but don't go anywhere. I'll wind things up here. You bet. Thank you so much again. Hey, everybody. Man, I encourage you enough today with what Emily was saying, that you just need to take time, create space, listen for that still small voice in your head. I think that God speaks to me daily about what I need to be doing, and I need to take time to listen. And I'm just like all of you. I'm working on myself daily. I encourage you to check out Emily's coaching. We're all different. Just because she and I do similar things, there are different fits for different people, and she is awesome and will be able to help you out today. So I encourage you to go to her website, go to her LinkedIn page, which I've had scrolling across the bottom, connect with her, and really, she can give you so much more good information. And tune into the next one, which we're going to schedule, she and I, when I get off here, and we will pick this up another time. So anyway, been so great to have everybody here. Remember, every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on the West Coast of the U.S. Love to have you tune in with us. And until we see you again, have a great day and a great life. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.